Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fumble Sports pregame show for the final game of Wild Card Weekend between the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We'll be taking you right up until kickoff, answering all of your questions. If you want to know who's going to win this game, how to bet the total, or what player prop bets to put your money down on, stick around. We hope to entertain you for the next hour and 15 minutes or so, taking you through every angle of this game between the Cowboys and the Bucs. I hope you guys are having a great Monday night. And if you do have any questions, make sure you throw them in the chat. We're broadcasting live on YouTube right now on our YouTube channel, Fumble Sports, and of course on TikTok Live. Make sure you're following us. Hit that follow button at Fumble Sports. We're here to answer all of your questions going into this game tonight. Glad, Jeff, that you hit your Jamar Chase player prop bet from yesterday. That's one that we put out. We went 4 for 6 in our player prop bets on Sunday of Wild Card Weekend, hoping to hand out a few more winners tonight. If you guys have questions about who's going to win tonight, the game pick, total play, or any player prop bets, make sure you throw those in the chat. Fumble Sports is here to answer all of your questions as we preview this mega matchup between the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And of course, the matchup between Dak Prescott and Tom Brady. The big note that everyone's pulled out this week, Tom Brady 7-0 against the Dallas Cowboys in his career. Will that continue? An interesting note on the other side that goes against Tom Brady. The Buccaneers have only covered the spread once at home this season. They're 1-6-1. So while the trends may favor Brady over the course of his career, over this season, Tom Brady at home has not been a good, bet. And he is the underdog tonight, with Dallas being at least a 2.5-point favorite. In some places, I'm even seeing it at 3 points. How much stock do you put in Tom Brady past his bedtime? I understand that Tom Brady, I'm sure, is up for this game. And Tom Brady in prime time is always a sight to behold. He's the GOAT. We don't need to go too far into Tom Brady's career. What is important about this game is the other players around him. Ryan Jensen, the center of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who was injured in preseason, one of the first weeks of preseason. He is back tonight. He is activated. So for the first time this season, Tom Brady will have, quote-unquote, his starting or his best offensive lineman in Ryan Jensen, the center. I think that's a really important addition to this team, one that's banged up, and they're going to need him. Obviously, Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, the Cowboys are going to get after Tom Brady. They're going to be attacking. They're going to blitz. Dan Quinn wants to put pressure on Tom, especially up front. If there's any way to beat Tom Brady, it's really not pressuring him from the edges nearly as much as it's pressuring him inside the guards. If you're able to pressure him over the center in that nose tackle position, that's really where he starts to get panicky because he can't step up in the pocket. We've seen that in the past. Obviously, the Cowboys are better on the edges, so we'll see if they're able to get pressure on Brady. The time it takes for him to get the ball out, that's going to determine his success. But we have so many angles to talk about when it comes to this game. Who to bet, how to bet, which angles to play. I've been going back and forth on the total play all week. I like the under going into the week, going into Wild Card Weekend. And every game so far of Wild Card Weekend, the over has hit. So I've even questioned whether I should be taking the under tonight, and I flip-flopped and I put money on the over just a couple of hours ago, because you get the sense that the NFL, how they're officiating, how they're letting these games play out, the over has a greater chance of hitting than during the regular season. So for that reason, I did throw money on the over tonight. I do have the Buccaneers covering tonight. That was part of a Wild Card Weekend parlay that's still alive. The last leg of our 6-leg parlay goes down tonight, as I have Tampa Bay covering +4. If that hits, our $20 bet cashes at $117.06. We put that out a couple of days ago. We'll put out another parlay for the divisional round, so make sure you check that out on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Fumble Sports. Make sure you're following us. You never want to miss any of our content or our picks. Speaking of our picks, if you want to get all of our picks consolidated in one place, as well as the gambling trends and game notes that go with it, go to our website, buttfumblesports.com. The link is in the bio. If you go to our bio on TikTok, you can hit that link. It takes you right to the website. Sign up for the free newsletter. You'll get all of my picks for the divisional round all in one place. And not just the picks, but the game notes and gambling trends, so you know what goes into the pick. That way, whether you agree or disagree, you know why I think the way I do. Getting to your questions on TikTok, Andrew asks, Zeke over 58.5 rushing plus receiving yards. I'm not crazy about it. I do like Zeke anytime touchdown, but Zeke 58.5 rushing plus receiving yards. I don't like him as much in the pass game as I do Tony Pollard. And the running game, I think, is going to be challenged with Vita Vea healthy. I would avoid that play. I want to say the over, but I don't feel confident enough about it, Andrew. So I would avoid Zeke over under rushing plus receiving yards. Daily fantasy, T.Y. Hilton or Russell Gage. I'm going to go with T.Y. Hilton, and the reason for that, if Dak is going to be able to have the deep ball, obviously CeeDee Lamb is most likely going to get that coverage. It's going to be T.Y. Hilton, and you're really banking on just 1 or 2 receptions for him, but those receptions being 40, 50, 60-yard receptions and hopefully a touchdown. So I actually lean slightly towards T.Y. Hilton because of his ceiling. That kind of is the antithesis of what I usually say. But Russell Gage, I think Tom Brady's going to go in a number of directions tonight. I don't know if you can rely on Russell Gage. Even if he gets targets, he's not going to get the same opportunities that T.Y. Hilton does. Tom Brady over under 275 passing yards. Again, I've been going back and forth on a couple of these. I do like Tom Brady under 275 passing yards just slightly. I just think that I could see Leonard Fournette, playoff Lenny, having a good game again. But Tom Brady, I think this pass defense is better than people think. Obviously, there are questions in the secondary, but they're going to get pressure on Brady. I have enough faith in the Cowboys to limit him. I think he's closer to 260 passing yards rather than 275. Vanilla Sports says, I love Lamb anytime touchdown and Brady anytime touchdown with a sneak. Interesting. I'm not as big on Brady with the anytime touchdown. Again, simply because I think Leonard Fournette has proven himself in the playoffs as being that bulldozer. You go back to the Patriot days for Tom Brady, the LeGarrette Blount. So unless it's, I don't know. I like Tom Brady on sneaks for first downs. Maybe that's why a number of people like his over rushing yard total. But I don't know if I like Tom Brady for the anytime touchdown tonight. CeeDee Lamb and Otten for an anytime touchdown. I'm curious to know. I'm going to do some quick research. What's Cade Otten's stats have been of late? He's not really a touchdown guy from what I'm seeing. So Cade Otton has 2 touchdowns this season. For that reason, you simply can't go to him. Tom Brady doesn't value him as a red zone target enough. For that reason, I would avoid that anytime touchdown. Do I think Zeke Elliott will get an anytime touchdown? Yes, I do. So of the 3-player prop bets that Fumble Sports put out that you can check out on our Instagram account at Fumble Sports, one of them was Zeke anytime touchdown. That's been a cashing ticket consistently over the course of the last few months. Zeke has a touchdown in 9 of his last 10 games. The only week he didn't have a touchdown over the last 10 weeks was last week, week 18. Obviously, we saw the Cowboys disappoint everybody in the Commanders game, but I think they went away from Zeke. I think they need to get back to that. Zeke gets a touchdown tonight. I do like that player prop bet. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Once we hit 2,000 likes, we'll do a quick poll for those who are joining us for the first time. We do a quick poll. It's based around either a game pick or a player prop bet. I put the question out to you guys. You guys vote, and then I give my pick afterwards. So make sure you're hitting that like button. Every time we hit another 2,000 like benchmark, we'll do a quick poll. Are the 49ers the next dynasty? No, they're not, Vanilla Sports. The next dynasty, if there one, is one that's going to be closest. It's the Chiefs. It's Patrick Mahomes. If he's able to complete the run this year to another Super Bowl, that would be 2 in that smaller 3-4 year stretch of time that at least builds the argument for a dynasty. I don't think we're going to get a dynasty in the NFL, though. I think the Patriots dynasty will hold for some time, simply because I think the game is so competitive. The parity across, you just look at the AFC right now. The quality quarterbacks in the AFC is far superior to what we've had, I think, at almost any time. And I include when we had Brady, Manning, and Roethlisberger all in the AFC. Right now with Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Herbert, I think there's so much talent there. I'm not including, I forgot Lamar Jackson. I'm sure I'm missing others. The whole point is there's Trevor Lawrence. There's so much talent right now at the quarterback position in the AFC. I think it's going to be really hard for a team to consistently repeat. Also, the playoff system changed. Not having that second team with a bye week, that's going to impact the ability for a team to be a dynasty. RPN 83 says nobody is scoring points thus far this weekend. I've noticed Dallas game, nobody's scoring points. I don't know what you're saying. Every game has hit the over so far. Every game has hit the over. The over is undefeated so far on Super Wildcard Weekend. That's the only. I like the under going into this game. I'm going to be honest. When we put out our newsletter on Friday, I said take the under. Then I saw how this weekend played out, and I'm saying right now on the air, I would take the over now because the NFL, the way they're officiating these games, clearly Roger Goodell put out the initiative, put out the priority. We want points. We are not calling. If we're going to call ticky-tack, it's going to be in favor of offense. But we are going to give offenses every opportunity to score. That's what I've seen so far. I'm seeing a lot of teams score points, and a lot of teams score points quick. So it's not just, a barrage in garbage time. We're seeing a lot of points scored almost in every quarter. For example, I put down bets on multiple games this week, fun prop bets, in which you could get a touchdown in every quarter and you would win, a plus 300 ticket. That cashed every time for me. So a lot of points being scored over Super Wildcard Weekend. Coach Hayden, Cowboys get the W. My $50 parlay hits $3.19. So I've liked the Cowboys on the money line throughout the week. I like Tom Brady to cover. Tom Brady to cover +4 or +4.5 if you get it at the new odds. I love that. I love Tom Brady covering. The history is on his side. The health is on the side of the Buccaneers. But I'm not gonna lie to myself and say, one, the Cowboys don't have the better roster. They do. The Cowboys are the better team on paper. And second, and maybe biggest for me, I watched how the games played out over the last few days. It felt like the better coach won every game except for the Ravens-Bengals game. And you could even say, you could argue Harbaugh should have won that game if Huntley dives for the end zone instead of leaping over the top. So the better head coach has won in every matchup so far in these playoffs. With that said, do I feel like the Cowboys or the Buccaneers have the better coach tonight? I don't usually take Mike McCarthy in a matchup of who's the better coach, but right now, I feel like he is the better coach. I'm not a big Todd Bowles guy. I think he's a great defensive coordinator. I'm not big on him as a head coach. So I actually do like the Cowboys on the money line tonight. They've got the better roster. They have the better coach. I know the Bucs have Brady. That'll keep it a close game. I like Cowboys on the money line, and I like the Buccaneers to cover. Get it at +4, +4.5 after you buy the point. Okay, so we've hit 2,000 likes. I want to make sure we pay off our first quick poll of the evening. So one more time for all of those joining us now, we're going to do a quick poll. This is related to either a player prop bet that I like or a game pick. You guys vote, and then I give out my analysis and my pick afterwards. So here's our first quick poll of the evening. The first quick poll we're going to do. Which wide receiver will have more receptions tonight? Which wide receiver will have more receptions tonight? Smiley face for Chris Godwin. Crying face for CeeDee Lamb. One more time before you guys vote. Which wide receiver will have more receptions tonight? Smiling face for Chris Godwin. Crying face for CeeDee Lamb. Let's do our first quick poll. Let us know what you guys think. If you think it's Godwin, it's red. Godwin is in red. CeeDee Lamb is in blue. So it would be Godwin, smiley face, CeeDee Lamb, crying face. Which wide receiver will have more receptions tonight? Let us know what you guys think doing our first quick poll because we hit 2,000 likes. Which wide receiver will have more receptions in tonight's game? Smiley face for Chris Godwin, crying face for CeeDee Lamb. Vote. Let us know what you guys think. I'll give my analysis and my pick right after. Smiley face for Chris Godwin, crying face for CeeDee Lamb. Which wide receiver will have more receptions tonight? Coming down to the final few seconds of our first quick poll of the evening. Smiley face for Chris Godwin, crying face for CeeDee Lamb. Which wide receiver will have more receptions tonight? First quick poll of the evening. Which wide receiver will have more receptions? Final votes coming in. You guys, by just a few, say Chris Godwin. Not only do I agree with you, Vegas does as well. So the lines have been set tonight for total receptions. CeeDee Lamb's has been set at 5.5, with the over going off at -190, under at +145. But Chris Godwin, his total receptions is going off at 7.5. The over is plus 125. So even based off of those lines, both of these guys are going to be around 6-7 receptions based off of how the odds in Vegas is playing it out. Personally, I think Godwin's going to get 7 catches. Does he get 8? It's going to be on the line. But I like him to get more receptions tonight than CeeDee Lamb, even if CeeDee Lamb hits his over on his total receptions. Appreciate all of you joining us. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And of course, go to our website. The link is in the bio. Hit that link, go to our website, and sign up for the free newsletter. That way you get all of my picks. Every Friday, a newsletter comes out. All my picks for it'll be for the divisional round, not just the game pick, but the gambling notes and game analysis that goes into it. So that way, whether you agree or disagree, you know why I think the way that I do. That link is in the bio. Make sure you hit that link. Will Ryan Jensen's return spark a Bucs run? I certainly think that Jensen's return is going to have a big impact tonight. Helps Leonard Fournette in the running game especially. Helps Tom Brady get a little bit of extra time. I don't know if it necessarily sends them on a run. As you can hear, I think their run ends tonight, actually. I have the Cowboys on the money line tonight. I have Tampa Bay on the cover. One of the reasons I feel the way that I do is in part because the Cowboys played so poorly last week. I think I don't want to say got it out of their system. They're the Cowboys. It's going to be in their system forever. But that said, they're on notice now. They're not going into this game with any arrogance. They're not believing any hype. They are humbled at the perfect time. I think everyone's kind of riding on the Bucs. I know that the Cowboys are favored, but I think the Buccaneers have gotten a lot of pub over the last week. A lot of people really like them. I think the Cowboys are aware of that. They're coming in as kind of the public underdog, though they're the betting favorite. For a lot of reasons, I think the Cowboys are going to play a much better game tonight than a lot of us expected earlier in the week. Do I think Mike Evans will get more than 5 receptions? No, I don't think he'll get more than 5. I actually think it's going to be 5 or 4 or 5, but I don't like him getting 6 catches tonight. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Hit that follow button. And of course, as I mentioned a moment ago, go to our website. The link is in the bio. Hit that link, go to our website, and sign up for the free newsletter. Bills versus Bengals with the Bengals +5. I really like the Bills in that game. I will say we're going to preview divisional round tomorrow night in our show. But if you guys want to just tease that a little bit, I love the Bills next week. The injuries to the Bengals offensive line come at the worst time. Even though the Bills don't have Von Miller, they still have a good pass rush. You saw it at times against Skylar Thompson. They can create some havoc. I think Joe Burrow's an unbelievable quarterback. But when he doesn't have time in the pocket, he's just not as good. He'll find Chase, but I think the Bills are going to win that game. I'm not quite sure how I'm playing the spread right now. The underdog has only not covered once. I believe there's only one team, and that was the Seahawks. They were the only underdog that hasn't covered so far. So there is a part of me that likes the Bengals. If it's +5 right now as a line, I'd buy the 1.5. I'd get Bengals plus 6.5. I feel like they would cover that, but I love Bills on the money line. They're definitely the play for me next week. Evans over 61 yards tonight. Man, that's super tight for me. I'll lean slightly towards the over on that. I almost like him more on an anytime touchdown than I do on the yards. I think Godwin could be the guy between the 20s, Evans in the red zone. It's usually one or the other, so I'm kind of leaning that way. In part because he's the one who will most likely have Trayvon Diggs on him. How does Brandon Staley still have a job? I think in part because the Chargers are, as a lot of their fans tweeted me and texted me, they have a cheap owner. Spanos isn't one who's going to go fire a head coach and create someone he has to pay who's not working for him and then go hire somebody. So much like you, I might have overreacted and said the Chargers are going to immediately fire Brandon Staley, move on, go chase Sean Payton or someone else. But we don't take into account the business aspects sometimes. The Chargers are a cheap franchise. They do things in, in a way that they shouldn't. This is a team that if they spent the money, they could be super competitive. If they found the right coach, they could take off. Look at what the Giants did this year. Look at what the Jaguars did this year, what it did for a young quarterback. I know they should do the same. Will they? It's about Spanos spending the money, and part of that's firing Staley so he can spend the money on a new coach. I don't know if you're going to see that. By the way, I don't want to say it's similar because Mark Davis does spend money, but a similar story in Vegas. I think one of the reasons Josh McDaniels was never really on the hot seat, no matter how bad the Raiders were doing, there was no way Mark Davis was going to pay multiple coaches who weren't working for him anymore. It just doesn't make sense financially. Appreciate all of you joining us. Make sure you're hitting that follow button at Fumble Sports. Julio Jones for the first touchdown. That's a bold one. I would be much more on either Zeke Elliott or Leonard Fournette. Julio Jones, the only reason I would like that is, again, because you got to think Diggs is going to be covering Evans, and then maybe Godwin's getting double covered, so it leaves Julio open. But given those two primary wide receivers are healthy, it slots Julio into that wide receiver 3 spot. I like playoff Lenny a little bit more there. T.Y. Hilton over half a fantasy first half. Whatever it is, the whole point is I think T.Y. Hilton's going to be in this game. He might only get 2 catches, but where he does, I could see it being a very big play, 40, 50, 60 yards, potentially a touchdown. At some point, Kellen Moore is going to let it rip. He's going to tell Dak Prescott to go deep on a pass. I think they want to open that up. I hope it's not too early. This is my concern about the Cowboys tonight. My concern is Kellen Moore is going to try to prove that Dak Prescott can throw. We don't need that. We don't need to see if Dak Prescott can throw. Cowboys, run the frickin' football. You have Tony Pollard. You have Zeke Elliott. Run the ball, then off of play action, T.Y. Hilton deep. CeeDee Lamb over the middle. If you want to do Michael Gallup, great. But run the ball. Establish the run. I know the Buccaneers are a great team against the run. Fine. Then do some screen passes. Do some shiftiness in the backfield between Pollard and Zeke. But don't come out and have Dak Prescott throw like 6 of the first 7 plays of the game. If I'm a Cowboys fan, I want to see not just a balanced offense. I actually think I want it to be like 60-40 on the pass as the majority. That's what I would want to see as a Cowboys fan. Establish the run, force the Buccaneers to come up towards the line, and then boom, hit them on some deep passes. Appreciate all of you joining us. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports. Tony Pollard, 10 receiving yards in the first half. I think so, in part because of what I'm saying. I think that one of the ways Kellen Moore wants to set Dak up for success is get the ball out of your hands. Don't sit in the pocket. Don't try and force something. Quick decisions. Get it out of your hands. Find Pollard in the flat. Make something happen in space with a talented, running back, as opposed to having Dak hold it in the pocket. I think that's the way to play it. Appreciate all of you joining us. Make sure you hit the link in our bio, go to our website, buttfumblesports.com, sign up for the free newsletter. It'll have all of my picks, game notes, and gambling trends for the divisional round in a free newsletter that comes out on Friday. So go to our website. Again, the link is in the bio, buttfumblesports.com. And while you're there, check out our new merchandise. We've dropped a ton of new merch. Mr. Irrelevant, Jones on Jones crime for the Raiders and the Patriots. We have the butt punt. We have some California love. So go check out our merchandise. Brand new designs. buttfumblesports.com. While you're there, obviously, sign up for the free newsletter. We'll do another quick poll in just a second because we hit 4,000 likes. CeeDee Lamb over 76.5 receiving yards. I'm tentatively saying over. I'm not crazy about it, but I'm tentatively saying over. Mike Evans over 5 receptions. I don't like over 5. I think he's going to get 5, so I think you'd be at a push. Appreciate all of you joining us. Dallas minus 2.5, good. Nope, I don't like that. I like Buccaneers on the cover. I would take Buccaneers and I'd buy the extra points. Dallas, I just want them on the money line. I don't want to take them on the spread. I don't have that much confidence in them. Okay, let's get to that next quick poll. The next quick poll we're going to do. Here we go. Okay, so our next quick poll question, because we hit 4,000 likes, our next quick poll question. Which quarterback will have more passing yards tonight? Wait before you vote. One more time. Which quarterback will have more passing yards tonight? We'll go smiling face Tom Brady, crying face Dak Prescott. Here we go. Which quarterback will have more passing yards tonight? Smiley face Tom Brady, crying face Dak Prescott. So Tom Brady in red, Dak Prescott in blue. Which quarterback will have more passing yards tonight? Make sure you vote. I'm going to give my pick right after the results come in. Which quarterback will have more passing yards tonight? Smiley face Tom Brady, crying face Dak Prescott. To give you guys some odds, clearly you guys are going in a certain direction. Tom Brady to have more passing yards is going off at minus 200. Dak Prescott plus 150. So which quarterback do you guys think? Would you put down the minus 200 on Tom Brady, or would you put down the plus 150 on Dak Prescott? Which quarterback will have more passing yards tonight? Keep in mind, these are two good defenses. Whether it's scoring, allowing points, or allowing yards rather, two good defenses. Smiling face Tom Brady, crying face Dak Prescott. Which quarterback will throw for more yards tonight? Final few seconds of the poll. You guys say it's going to be Tom Brady. You're taking the minus 200 with Brady. I'm not only going to agree with you, I've already put money down on this. I like Tom Brady to have more passing yards. But that said, the total passing yards line, Dak Prescott, total passing yards line, 244.5 yards. That's over or under at minus 115. Interestingly enough, Vegas likes Tom Brady to go over his passing yards total at 276.5. That's going off at minus 120. So the over for Tom Brady has certainly been the play. They don't feel the same way about Dak, and everybody seems to like Brady for more passing yards tonight. Who do I think had the most disappointing loss in the wild card weekend besides the Chargers? I don't even think the Chargers had the most disappointing. I think the Vikings were the most disappointing. You were at home. You're a team that had a lot of hype. And you were facing a team that I think everyone believed was lesser. I think if you had polled people before the Jaguars game, they would have said these are two very evenly matched teams. Maybe the Chargers are a little bit better. But the Vikings went into that game against the Giants as the favorite. They were the far better team, at least on paper. And they came out hot, and they lost. Their defense is just atrocious. So if I'm a Vikings fan, all of a sudden Kirk Cousins isn't the problem. So if you're a Vikings fan and you say, okay, we lost at home as the favorite in the playoffs and Kirk Cousins wasn't the problem, okay, that's concerning. Because that means that Kirk Cousins could be the problem, and now you're completely a mess. You have so much work to do on your defense if you're a Vikings fan. They've got a lot of problems, I think, actually. Tyler asks, Julio Jones, more than 20.5 receiving yards? I actually do like that one. I think he will get over that. TB12 will lose tonight. I think he will as well. I do have the Cowboys on the money line. I love the Buccaneers on the cover. It's a part of our wild card weekend parlay that we put out before the playoffs kicked off. Tampa Bay +4 would be the last part of a 6-leg parlay. If that cashes, we cash that ticket. So I'm certainly hope Tom Brady keeps it close. But I have to believe in two major factors in this one. One, the Cowboys really are a better team on paper. Whether they are tonight is another story, but they are the better team. And second, we've seen throughout the wild card weekend, the better coaches won. The only time that wasn't the case was Baltimore. If you want to argue that Zach Taylor's the better coach than Harbaugh, fine. But Harbaugh might be the better coach. If Tyler Huntley executes that play inside his red zone and scores the touchdown, Harbaugh pulls off the upset. So the better coach has been undefeated so far, in my estimation. Who's the better coach tonight? Is it Todd Bowles or is it Mike McCarthy? I think Todd Bowles is a good defensive coordinator. I think Mike McCarthy is the better coach. I'm going to go with Mike McCarthy tonight. I can confidently say the Bills are not Super Bowl contenders. Well, that boy Sean, they are. And the reason that they are is they're on the right path. Sometimes I think to the past, we've had Super Bowl champions that didn't look really great in the first round, but they played weak opponents. I think of the Patriots in past years when they went deep into the playoffs. They played like the Jaguars They played the Titans. They played teams that they could beat up on. And even though the game was probably a little bit closer than it should have been, they squeak by with a win. And they keep getting either teams that are beat up or things are in their favor. The Bengals' offensive line is hurt. I think the Bills beat the Bengals at home with their banged up offensive line. So now you have a Bills in a conference championship game at a neutral site against the Chiefs. Anything can happen in that game. They could easily find themselves in the Super Bowl. So you have to at least consider them a Super Bowl contender at this point. Dak over 125 yards in the first half. I almost hope not, because if he does, it means Kellen Moore is throwing the ball too frequently. I'd like to see them establish the running game. I'm going to lean slightly towards the over, actually, on that. I'm going against what I just said, but one is what I want to see. One is what I think we'll see. I think we'll see Kellen Moore ask for the throw a little bit ask for the pass a little bit too much. So I would take Dak over 125 pass yards. Bennett Cox asked Dak over 1.5 touchdowns. I don't like that one. 1.5 passing touchdowns. I wouldn't touch that one. And the reason I say that is it hasn't been a good ticket as of late. And second, I think the running game still plays a factor in the red zone for the Cowboys. They may not be able to move the ball between the 20s against this Buccaneers defense on the ground. But inside the red zone with Zeke and Pollard, I think they're too important. The only way I could see Dak getting over 1.5 touchdowns is on a screen pass to Tony Pollard and he takes it in. So I'm not really big on the over-under passing touchdowns for Dak. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Once we hit 6,000 likes, we'll do another quick poll. And of course, make sure you're following us. Hit that follow button at Fumble Sports. We put out content all the time. Game picks, total plays, player prop bets, and rants. We put out a rant around every game, every team. So if you want to know how I feel right after this game finishes, we're going to put out rant videos. You can check them out on TikTok. So make sure you're following us. Hit that follow button. And of course on YouTube as well. Fumble Sports is our YouTube channel. You can go there and find all of my rants. I put out a number of them over the last few days, including one on Cliff Kingsbury and his one-way ticket to Thailand. I'm sure we may have to do another one for other head coaches who might be fired, including Mike McCarthy. There are rumors that if Mike McCarthy loses this game, that the Dallas Cowboys will move on from him. I don't think that will happen, but you never know with Jerry Jones. Lamb and Godwin, anytime touchdown parlay. It's not a terrible play. I'm not crazy about it, but it's not terrible. Yeah, the whole offseason is going to be about two things in my estimation, Frizzell, and that is, where does Lamar Jackson go? Do the Ravens retain Lamar Jackson with the franchise tag, or is Lamar Jackson going somewhere else like New York? And the other is obviously Sean Payton. Where does Sean Payton land? Those, to me, are the two mega stories of this offseason. Fine. Will Tom Brady retire? Will Tom Brady go to Las Vegas? There's always a Tom Brady story in there. But for me, the stories that are far more important for the next few years of the NFL, not just for the next few months, is will Sean Payton go to the Cowboys, the Chargers, the Broncos? Where does Sean Payton land? Because he's going somewhere. He's not staying at Fox for another year. So Sean Payton's going to be in the league next year. And the other one is Lamar Jackson going to be a Raven? I put in one of my rant videos yesterday. I feel like the Ravens and Lamar Jackson are headed for a Kawhi Leonard, San Antonio Spurs kind of divorce. The player doesn't trust the team can't rely on the player. There's an injury question involved. There are a lot of issues like that around Lamar and the Ravens right now. I don't know why he wasn't at that game. If you are the franchise quarterback, the face of the team, and even though you're injured, you're not going to the playoff game, you're not supporting your brethren, you're not standing by them, I thought that was a major sign that this is heading towards divorce. If I'm John Harbaugh, I think he took the high road yesterday, in part because he knows in the offseason, he may be relying on Tyler Huntley a little bit more than people think. Lamar Jackson, I think they should franchise tag him, but that may be they franchise tag him and then trade him. I wouldn't let him walk out the door as a free agent. That would be the dumbest move of all time. But could Lamar Jackson be playing in New York with the Jets next year? Absolutely. If I'm the Ravens right now, I franchise tag Lamar. I go to the Jets. I say, okay, This is my asking price. It's going to be a first this year, a first next year, and let's say a third round pick this year. The Ravens could get really good really fast. Maybe you go after a CJ Stroud. If I replace Lamar Jackson with CJ Stroud, add a wide receiver or two, I think the Ravens could be just as good as they were with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's a spectacular player. I've seen nothing from Lamar in the playoffs. Never. I've never seen him play above any kind of average ceiling. So if Lamar Jackson wants that mega money, if I'm the Ravens, I don't give it to him. Let him go to the Jets. He's got too much RG3 in it for me. I'm worried he's going to get injured. I haven't seen the production in the playoffs, and now I'm seeing drama. If I'm the Baltimore Ravens, I move on. I'd franchise tag him and trade him. That's how I'd handle that situation. If you like rants like this, make sure you check out our YouTube channel, Fumble Sports, or make sure you're following our TikTok channel. Hit that follow button. We put out rant videos around every team that gets knocked out of the playoffs or advances. So if you want to hear my take about every game, every team, make sure you check out those rant videos at buttfumblesports.com. Make sure you're also hitting the like button. Once we hit 6,000 likes, we will do another quick poll. For those just joining us, those quick polls are around a game pick or a player prop bet that I like. We put out the poll, you guys vote, and then I give my analysis and my pick right after. I want to give out some gambling trends for this game. These gambling trends you can also get in our free newsletter if you go to the website in our bio. The link is in the bio, so hit that link. Every time in the newsletter, you'll get gambling trends just like this to help inform you of how to bet these games. So these are the gambling notes and gambling trends for the Cowboys and Buccaneers. The underdog is 5-1 against the spread in the last 6 meetings between the Cowboys and the Bucs. The road team is 4-0 against the spread in the last 4 meetings between the two teams. The Cowboys are 1-4-1 against the spread in their last 6 road games. Let me say that one more time. The Cowboys are 1-4-1 against the spread in their last 6 road games. So the Cowboys have been terrible against the spread on the road. Buccaneers 3-12-1 against the spread in their last 16 games overall. They have not been cashing tickets this year. So I am going with them to cover the spread, but that hasn't been a popular play this year. As for the total, the under is 6-1 in the last 7 meetings between the two teams. The over is 5-2 in the Cowboys' last 7 games overall, and the under is 5-1 in the Buccaneers' last 5 playoff home games. One last note on the total. Thus far in Super Wildcard Weekend, the over is undefeated. The over has hit every single time. Definitely something to consider whether the NFL wants to admit it or not. They're giving the referees the opportunity to call flags on the offense, but the defense, they're getting the worst of it so far. I feel like the offense is getting a lot of beneficial calls. What do I think about Lamb and Evans over receiving yards? I like both of them. I'm not crazy about it, but I do like both of them only because I do think they're going to be involved in the passing game frequently. These two quarterbacks are going to target their key guys. Pollard under 11.5 rushing attempts. I feel like that's right. I actually like him more in the passing game. I think Zeke's going to get the heavy usage in the running game. So I'll say Pollard gets 9-10 rushes. So I will stay under 11.5. Anytime touchdown scorer. Well, we did put out one. If you want to check it out on our Instagram account, you can see all of our player prop bets. One of the ones I put out was Zeke Elliott anytime touchdown. I got that at even money. I do like Zeke anytime touchdown. He's had a touchdown in 9 of his last 10 games. The only one that he didn't was last week, week 18, against the Commanders. I got to feel like that was an outlier with how the Cowboys played and how they approached the week as a whole. So I feel like Zeke, especially in the red zone, is going to be a great play. Zeke anytime touchdowns, a player prop bet that I like tonight. Zeke and Pollard both scored tonight. Book it. Well, I actually do have that. I don't have it on the same ticket, but I do have both of them. I'm not putting out Pollard as the play. I'm putting out Zeke, but I do like both of them to find the end zone. Do I think Micah Parsons has a big game? The answer is yes. I think Micah Parsons will get 2 sacks. Actually, one player prop bet that I put down, again, not one that I put out to the public, but just one I put money down on my own, is Micah Parsons gets a sack and Dallas wins. I put that in a parlay. I figure if Dallas, I like Dallas on the money line. I like Micah Parsons to get a sack. If I like both of those, I'll just combine them to get some better odds on it. But I do think Micah Parsons makes his presence felt. He's a big-time player. This is a big-time game. Whether he ultimately makes the difference or not, I feel like that's a largely based on how the Buccaneers offensive line tries to stunt him, challenge him, whether they run right at him or run away from him. But I do think Micah Parsons gets at least a sack and a half, if not two. Yeah, Vanilla Sports talking about roughing the passer. Roughing the passer at this point has turned what is a violent game into flag football. And I know we're trying to protect quarterbacks, but at a certain point, you got to be able to hit the guy you're going after. I don't understand what some of these calls are. Pollard is going to feast. I hope you're right. Another player prop bet that we've put out, Tony Pollard, over 75.5 rushing plus receiving yards. I like Tony Pollard to be a major part of this Dallas Cowboys offense. If you want to get all of my game picks all in one place, check out our website, buttfumblesports.com. Hit the link in our bio, buttfumblesports.com. Sign up for the free newsletter. In that newsletter that comes out every Friday, you'll get all of my game picks for the weekend, including all the gambling notes and game notes that go with it, the gambling trends and game notes. That way you know not just my picks, but how I came to that conclusion. That way it gets you smarter, and whether you tail or you fade, you know that's why I came out with the pick that I did. Brady or Dak interceptions? Well, Dak interceptions been a cashing ticket too frequently to not take. So I do have another player prop bet that I have put out there on our Instagram and Twitter accounts. Is Dak Prescott over half an interception? I'm getting that at minus 170. He's had an interception in 7 straight games. So until I see that not cash, I just have to keep riding it. It's been too consistent to not. Appreciate all of you joining us. Once we get up to 6,000 likes, we'll do another quick poll. So make sure you're hitting that like button. And once we get up to 6,000 likes, we'll do another quick poll to tease this one. This one will be about a game pick. This next one will be about a game pick. Dak over 245 passing yards. I'm going to lean towards the over, in part because the Bucs are so good against the run. I know they're good against the pass as well, but they're better against the run. So I feel like at some point, Kellen Moore is just going to say, Dak, we got to chuck it. Appreciate all of you guys joining us. Make sure you're following us at ButtFumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And go to our website, buttfumblesports.com. Hit the link in our bio. Sign up for the free newsletter. And while you're there, check out our store. Our store on our website, buttfumblesports.com. We have merchandise including Mr. Irrelevant shirts, California Love shirts, Jones on Jones Crime, the Butt Fumble, the Butt Punt, everything that you guys are going to get a kick out of. I'm sure you're going to want to check it out. Dak over under 2 interceptions. I'll take the under 2. I think he'll have an interception, but 2, I think he's going to have only 1. Dak rushing touchdown plus 550. That's not a bad long shot bet to maybe throw a unit down on, half a unit. I could see that happening where he gets in a bootleg situation and goes for the pylon. Appreciate all of you guys joining us for this Dallas Cowboys Tampa Bay Buccaneers pregame show. Make sure you're following us at ButtFumble Sports on TikTok. Hit that follow button. That way you know every time we go live, we'll be going live throughout the week to get you ready for the divisional round, answering all of your betting questions, also ranting about what's going on in the NFL, how teams are going to perform in the divisional round. So make sure you're hitting that follow button and joining this incredible ButtFumble Sports community. We're closing in on 37,000 followers on TikTok. Unbelievable to think we've only been a company for a few months. 37,000 followers. You guys are just an incredible audience. Closing in on 6,000 likes. Once we hit that, we'll do a quick poll. If you have questions about this game tonight, the game pick, total player prop bets to go after, make sure you're throwing your questions in the chat. Here to answer all of your questions around Cowboys and Bucs as we take you right up until kickoff on ESPN and ABC, everything you need for Cowboys and Buccaneers. I think the Jags will give the Chiefs a closer game as well. I obviously think the Chiefs are going to win. Part of the reason I say that is Andy Reid with a bye week is almost a sure bet. But I really do like the Jaguars, the momentum they're building. I want to see what their injury report is. But I like the Jaguars like you do to keep that a closer game. I wouldn't be surprised if they cover. Do I like Zeke anytime touchdown? I do. That's one of the 3 player prop bets that we put out there publicly. You can check those out at Fumble Sports on Instagram. Those 3 include Zeke getting into the end zone. And anytime touchdown, I'm getting that at even money. So V Miguel 95. I like the Cowboys on the money line tonight. I like the Bucks to cover, but I do like the Cowboys on the money line. I know I may be regretting it later. Tom Brady, I know, is 7-0 against the Cowboys in his career, but I have to believe that the Cowboys have the better roster. They have the better head coach. I feel like they've been humbled. They were embarrassed last week. I think they're going to come in hungry. I think it's really important that they get off to a fast start. And I don't mean Dak Prescott throwing for 80 yards on the first drive. Quite the contrary. I think the Cowboys need to come out and punch the Bucs in the mouth, establish the running game, get Zeke and Pollard involved, and then turn to Dak and to open up that passing game in play action, in screen plays, and everything else. But early on, if I'm Kellen Moore, I want to make sure that I establish the run. It may not be running right up the middle through the A or B gap. I think you got to avoid Vita Vea, but get on the edges, challenge these linebackers and these safeties to come up and tackle and establish the running game. If this becomes a Dak pass-happy game, I feel like the Buccaneers are going to win it. But if Dak can keep this competitive in a more balanced offense, that's where I like the Cowboys on the money line. Mike Evans over 60 and a half, I could see that hitting. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and at Sports Fumble on Twitter. Hit that like button, hit that follow button. We just hit 6,000 likes, so we will do another quick poll. For those just joining us, every time we hit another 2,000 like benchmark, we do a quick poll. I put that out to you guys vote, and then I give my pick right after. But on this one, I've already given my pick. Which team will win? I just said it. I like the Cowboys tonight to win, but we'll ask you, who do you think's going to win this game? We're going to go smiley face Buccaneers, crying face Cowboys. The only reason, red for Buccaneers, blue for Cowboys. So, which team wins this game? Let's do this quick poll. Smiley face for the Buccaneers, crying face for the Cowboys. Which team's going to win the game tonight? Red for the Bucks, blue for the boys. Which team's going to win this game tonight? Will the Cowboys win? If so, crying face. Will the Buccaneers win? If so, smiling face. Red for the Bucks, blue for the Cowboys. Which team's going to win this game tonight? About a half hour until kickoff. Which team do you guys think is going to win? Smiley face for the Buccaneers, crying face for the Cowboys. Obviously red for the Bucks, blue for the boys, so don't take it any other way. Which team's going to win tonight's game? Appreciate that, Jacob. Which team's going to win tonight's game? Smiley face for the Bucks, crying face for the Cowboys. Man, the public is much like you. The public's very much on the Buccaneers. Final few seconds. Smiley face Bucks, crying face Cowboys. Final few seconds. The public's heavy on this. Public likes the Bucks. I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I like Buccaneers on the cover. I like Buccaneers to cover the spread, absolutely. But I think the Cowboys are the better team. I know I can't believe I'm saying it. I probably will be regretting it in a few hours, betting against Tom Brady and going with the Cowboys. But I think the Cowboys will win and advance and send Tom Brady into his offseason and potentially into retirement. Suck up over under 1.5 field goals. I'll take the over on that. I think there's going to be at least a couple drives that the Cowboys stall the Bucs. I could see him getting 2 field goals. I know betting against Tom Brady in the playoffs is probably a mistake, especially when betting on the Cowboys is such a mistake as well. But for some reason, I'm going into this game and I'm saying, what did I see most recently? I saw, other than a game against the Panthers where the Bucs came alive, I haven't seen the Tampa Bay Buccaneers really play a great game this year. I really haven't seen them play well. I know they're healthier than they've been all year with Ryan Jensen back, Vita Vea back. But the Cowboys are the better team. They're the better team. They have the better head coach. They don't have the better quarterback. I give you that. But this, in the playoffs so far, has the better quarterback won or has the better head coach won? It's interesting because there it's a question of, do you think Herbert or Trevor Lawrence is better? But so far, the better head coach has usually won. I think Mike McCarthy is better than Todd Bowles. Tom Brady isn't 6-0 versus the Cowboys. Tom Brady's 7-0 against the Cowboys. So I know that stat is even worse. Tom Brady's 7-0 against the Cowboys. That's how bad that is. Truth 6-9. Who's my Super Bowl matchup? We did a bracket a couple days ago. I went through every round of the NFL playoffs and gave my pick. That video is on YouTube if you want to check it out. We've only actually missed one, and that is we had the Minnesota Vikings advancing. But that said, I do have the Eagles playing the Bills in the Super Bowl. That's the Super Bowl matchup I have so far. Dallas in a blowout, says Travis, 39-17. I don't see that happening. I see this being a closer game than that. I think Tom Brady will keep it close, but I have the Dallas Cowboys on the money line. Appreciate all of you guys joining us. Make sure you follow us at Fumble Sports. Hit that follow button on the screen. And also check out our website. There's a link in our bio, buttfumblesports.com. Hit the link in the bio, go to the website, sign up for the free newsletter. In that newsletter is my picks for the weekend. That comes out every Friday. You don't just get all my picks, but the gambling trends and game notes to go with it. So hit the link in the bio, go to our website, buttfumblesports.com, and sign up for the free newsletter. And there's also merchandise there like t-shirts, hats, and a lot of new designs. So we have a Mr. Irrelevant shirt. We have a Jones on Jones crime, Chandler Jones and Mac Jones from that play in Vegas. You'll want to check that out. These are brand new shirts, brand new designs. Go to our website, buttfumblesports.com. Check out the store at our website. These are cool designs. Let us know what you guys think. We'd love to know what your feedback is. If the Cowboys were at home, they'd be 8.5-point favorites. No, they wouldn't. That'd be a ridiculous line, and Vegas would be stupid for offering it. Tom Brady throws 3 interceptions. Dak throws 2. I don't see Tom Brady throwing 3 interceptions. I could see him throwing 1 tonight, but I think Tom Brady's going to be smart with the football. I actually think he might actually throw no interceptions, in part because I think he may be sacked before he gets the ball out that quick. For those watching on YouTube, if you want to check out our website, hit the link in our description for those on YouTube, buttfumblesports.com. The link is in the description. Bucks money line now. Okay, Jay. Well, I'm curious to see how this game's going to play out. We'll be going live tomorrow and doing a preview of the divisional round. So for all of those who want to call me out if I'm wrong tonight, that's where you can find me. We don't hide here at Fumble Sports. We show our receipts. So I do have Cowboys on the money line. I have the Buccaneers to cover, so I'm on both sides of this thing tonight, but I'm hoping both tickets cash. Tony Pollard over 90 rushing yards. Travis, I don't like that. That seems way too high for rushing yards tonight. I don't like that at all. Schultz going to be a target, you think? Not as frequently as he probably should. The more targets he gets, I think that's a really good sign because it tells me Dak is looking for a middle of the field option, not forcing it to wide receivers, getting the ball out quicker. Usually a tight end, it's you find that guy, get it out quick turnarounds. So if Schultz gets 4 targets tonight, I'll actually be really happy about that if I'm a Cowboys fan. Do you have a final score prediction? Do I have a final score prediction? I'm really on the fence about this one. I'll say 27-24. I don't know why that came to mind. I'm jumping to that a little bit. I'll say 27-24. That feels a little high. Maybe, no, that feels right. 27-24 Cowboys is what I'll say. You want that polo? It's on buttfumblesports.com, Jacob. If you want our merch, go to buttfumblesports.com. You can get our merch on the store. And of course, our free newsletter. So sign up for the free newsletter as well. Okay, Jacob, daily fantasy. Start Dak or Tom for 1.5 points as a captain. I would go with Tom. If I had to go with one, I would go with Tom. I think there's a greater chance for Tom to put up bigger numbers. Tom Brady and Prescott yards over. I could see both hitting there over, yes. In part because these two teams are so good against the run. Should Staley be fired with the Chargers? Dave, if you want to check that out, I put out a rant video at Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Butt Fumble Sports on YouTube. You can check out that rant. The answer is yes, he should be fired. That was a disaster. And now that we've seen what Brian Daboll did with Daniel Jones, what Doug Peterson did with Trevor Lawrence, if I'm the owner, the general manager, any member of the front office for the LA Chargers, you have to look at the quarterback, the head coach that you have, and ask the question, is he going to make my young quarterback better? Is Justin Herbert going to go into that superstar tier because we have this head coach? If the answer is no, you have the wrong guy. You need to find someone who's going to bring out the most in Justin Herbert, bring him to that next tier, because Justin Herbert has the talent, but he needs the coaching. He's still making mistakes. And one of the ways I see Justin Herbert making mistakes, he has too many passes knocked down. They talked about it in the broadcast. I don't need you to change your mechanics too much. Sometimes it's about your decision making. So Justin Herbert needs to get better. The only way that's really going to happen at this point in his development is getting the right coach in there. We know who that is. It's Sean Payton. I don't think Spanos is going to spend the money, but if something happened, miraculously happened, that made him do the right thing, Spanos, write the blank check, make the trade with the Saints, trade the pick that you have in the first round, and just commit to Sean Payton. That's what the Chargers need to do. Sean Payton with the LA Chargers that could contend with the Chiefs over the next decade. I know that sounds crazy now, but the Chargers have a young star roster. You saw Asante Samuel. That guy's a young guy in that secondary. Derwin James still has some years ahead of him. They have talent on that defense. They have talent. Rashawn Slater, one of the best tackles in the NFL, wasn't available all year. When he comes back, the offensive line gets better. The Chargers have so many pieces. The one thing they don't have, though, is the right head coach. Jay Lopedog, appreciate you joining us tonight. Jay Lopedog, Brady over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I'm not crazy about it, but I'll lean slightly towards the over. If it's Jaguars, Buccaneers in the Super Bowl, first of all, that actually would be awesome. I know that would be a very Florida event, but that said, I would love to see Trevor Lawrence against Tom Brady. That would do me right. It'd also be Doug Peterson against Tom Brady. That'd be a lot of fun given how those teams played out or how those teams went at it. I shouldn't say those teams. Those two went at it in the Super Bowl a few years ago when it was Eagles-Patriots. We're not doing Mark Sanchez dirty. Butt Fumble Sports has nothing to do with Mark Sanchez. We don't know who that is. What up, Kevin James? Appreciate your support. Jay Addison, 99. Who is winning tonight? We do have the Cowboys on the money line, but the Buccaneers to cover. I know I'm going against some heavy trends tonight. Tom Brady, 7-0 in his career against the Cowboys. But I have to believe the Cowboys have the better roster. They have the better coach. And they just got humbled against the Washington Commanders. I don't think they're coming in with a big ego. I think they're going to be humbled. The only questions I have, how does Kellen Moore call this game? For the Cowboys fans' sake, I hope the running part of the game is the emphasis. Zeke and Pollard. Zeke and Pollard. If Dak Prescott has too many pass attempts early in this game, it's going to get me very concerned about the Cowboys. They need to have a balanced offensive attack. Run the frickin' ball. Run the ball. I know Vita Vea and the Buccaneers are a good run defense, but challenge them to stop the run and then use the play action. That's how I would attack the Buccaneers. Rachaad White over 13.5 receiving yards. Let's do some quick research on that. Rachaad White, I want to check out his game log stats. Whenever I'm putting in a player prop bet, I always like to look at their game log stats. Okay, I'm going to take over Rachaad White over 13.5 receiving yards. That's only hit once in the last 3 weeks. But in games in which Tom Brady has played well, that's been a good ticket. Oh, it's hit twice in the last 4 weeks. I like that one. I like Rachaad White over 13.5 receiving yards. I don't like him in the rushing game, but I do like him in the passing game. Leo is going with Dak Prescott under 240 passing yards. See, I'm going to lean slightly towards the over. I think he's going to be closer to 250. It's going to be that tight, though. I think the lines that have been set for the quarterbacks in terms of of their passing yards are pretty close. My only concern is I think it's going to be, especially late in the game, I think Prescott may be pressing a little bit. That's in part why I like the over. Evan, Cowboys on the money line is the play tonight for you. It's the play tonight for me. But Fumble Sports is going with the Cowboys on the money line. And looking at the picks on ESPN, Susie Colbert, Steve Young, and RG3 all have the Buccaneers, while Alex Smith and Booger McFarland are going with the Cowboys. So, bit of a split crew there on ESPN. What are my thoughts on the Steelers trading Deontay Johnson for D-Hop? Southern Yankee 04, that's not going to happen. There's no way that the Steelers are going to take on the money that D-Hop's going to want and trade Deontay Johnson. It doesn't make sense for them. They're giving up a young talent who's more inexpensive. I don't see that happening. The team I would watch when it comes to DeAndre Hopkins is the New England Patriots right now. That love affair between Belichick and DeAndre Hopkins, that caught my eye. I don't want Brady in, but he will be so far. Okay. If you've got questions about this Buccaneers-Cowboys game, only have a few minutes left. Tom Brady to the Titans. I would freaking love that because it would be Brady with Vrabel. I think that would be awesome. Appreciate all of you guys joining us. Make sure you follow Butt Fumble Sports. Hit that follow button. That way you know every time we go live, and you can check out all of our content. After this game goes final, we'll be putting out rant videos reacting to this game and obviously looking ahead either to the offseason or to the next playoff round for either team. Make sure you're following Butt Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and for those watching on YouTube, make sure you're subscribing. And again, for everybody out there, check out the link in our bio, or for those on YouTube, the link in the description. Hit the link, go to our website, buttfumblesports.com. We put out a ton of content. We'll be putting out blog content there as well, but you can sign up for the free newsletter. It gives out all of my picks before the weekend, including the gambling trends and game notes that go into those game picks. So go to our website, buttfumblesports.com. The link is in the bio. Hit that link, go to the website, sign up for the free newsletter. Everything you need to cash tickets on each round of the NFL playoffs. That's buttfumblesports.com. Sign up for the free newsletter. And while you're there, check out our store. Check out our t-shirts. We just have a whole new batch of NFL-related designs. You'll want to check that out at buttfumblesports.com. Who is the MVP tonight? Who's the MVP tonight? I'm going to say Tony Pollard. I think Tony Pollard's going to have a massive game. Who do I want to win as a fan? I'm not a fan of either team. I just love watching football. I hope this is a great competitive game that gives us a lot of entertainment and goes right down to the wire. Does Rodgers go to Las Vegas to reunite with Devontae Adams? No, I don't think so. I think the Green Bay Packers are going to hold on to Aaron Rodgers. I think he's going to be there one more year. I think there's going to be a lot of hemming and hawing, but at the end of the day, we've seen this story before. Aaron Rodgers, complains, puts up a lot of noise, and then he's a Packer come the preseason. Brady under 276.5 passing yards. Yeah. Dak over. Evans over. CeeDee Lamb over. I like that. Tom Brady over under is a little tight for me though. Jay Lopedog giving us some Miami Dolphins information about Tyreek. Who's the best lock? Who's the best lock-in? So anyways, I'll give out my player prop bets because I don't know what that says. 3 player prop bets that I really like tonight. You can check these out on Instagram as well, at ButtFumbleSports on Instagram. That's Tony Pollard over 75.5 rushing plus receiving yards. I'm getting that at minus 115. That's Tony Pollard over 75.5 rushing plus receiving yards. Again, I'm getting that at minus 115. Another player prop bet that I really like is Ezekiel Elliott anytime touchdown. Zeke Elliott anytime touchdown. I'm getting that at even odds. Like that bet a lot. He's cashed that ticket 9 out of the last 10 weeks. And unfortunately, Dak Prescott, I think, throws another pick. So Dak Prescott over half an interception. I'm getting that at minus 170. Those are 3 player prop bets that I like tonight. If you missed those, go to our Instagram account at ButtFumbleSports. Follow us. You can always find our content and always find our player prop bets as well. Will Bill O'Brien go to the New England Patriots as offensive coordinator? Yes, I think he will. Who is your favorite NFL team or player? Well, I've been working in sports media for over 15 years, so at this point, I just love talking sports, love engaging with sports fans. So at this point, I don't really have favorite teams. I just love talking sports. And now that we have sports gambling and fantasy, we like doing that as well. One of the reasons Butt Fumble Sports is here is to entertain you guys, give you guys a ton of information to try to take advantage of some of the bets you guys put down. Make sure you're following us at Butt Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Make sure you're subscribing on TikTok. You get exclusive offerings, so make sure you subscribe on TikTok. And of course, for those watching on YouTube, checking out our broadcast with our unbelievable graphics, make sure you subscribe there as well. Butt Fumble Sports is our channel. Answering just a few more questions. Appreciate all of you guys joining us. We have just a few more minutes of our show before this game kicks off between the Cowboys and Buccaneers. For all of you guys joining us, I hope you're also subscribing to our newsletter. Go to our website, buttfumblesports.com, and sign up for the free newsletter. There's a link in the bio if you're on TikTok. There's a link in the description if you're on YouTube. Hit that link. Go to our website, buttfumblesports.com. Sign up for the free newsletter. You'll get all of my picks for all of these games, each round of the playoffs, and the game notes and gambling trends that go into those picks. So whether you agree and you want to tail me, or you disagree and you want to fade, you're getting information to make everything better. We put in the work. You get the notes. You can decide whether you like the pick or not, but you get it all in one place. Pollard, more yards than Fournette. Yes, Tyler, I think he'll get more yards. I think Fournette's going to have a good game, but Pollard, in both the run and the pass game, I think is more explosive. Appreciate all of you guys joining us. Make sure you're following us at Butt Fumble Sports. Just a few more minutes before we finish off this show and go watch this final game of Super Wildcard Weekend. It certainly has been an entertaining weekend. I know we look to have some blowouts, but got plenty of entertainment in the end. Jay Lopedog, despite Jerry backing him before the playoffs, is Mike McCarthy's job on the line tonight? I don't think so. I think he's going to stay with him. As much as Sean Payton being out there is going to put some chum in the water and have Cowboys fans wondering, I think Mike McCarthy, first of all, I think the Cowboys win tonight. That's going to help him secure his job for next year. But second of all, I think that the Cowboys, I don't think they're ready for Sean Payton. I think Sean Payton is going to go to a different situation. I don't know if Sean Payton wants to take it on. I just don't think it's the right match ultimately. Will Dak have more yards than Brady? I don't think so, Boston Celtics fan 5. I think Brady will have more passing yards. Appreciate all of you guys joining us. Make sure you're following us at Butt Fumble Sports on TikTok. We put out rant videos after every game, evaluating how each team did, looking into their future, calling them out where they made mistakes. So you'll want to check those out at Butt Fumble Sports on TikTok, at Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram, and Butt Fumble Sports on YouTube. Subscribe, sign up, follow, do all the things that you're supposed to do, and that way you get our rant videos every time. One last time, too, go to our website, buttfumblesports.com. We have some really cool new designs for t-shirts, including a Mr. Irrelevant, a Chandler Jones on Mac Jones Crime t-shirt. We have a Butt Punt t-shirt. We have a California Love t-shirt. You want to check all of those out, buttfumblesports.com. You can check them out in our store at buttfumblesports.com. And while you're there, sign up for the free newsletter. That free newsletter will offer all of my picks and game notes, gambling trends for every game of the NFL playoffs each week. So you want to sign up for that free newsletter. buttfumblesports.com. Sign up for the free newsletter. Check out our shirts as well. For all of those watching on YouTube, the link is in the description. For those watching on TikTok, the link to our website is in the bio. So hit that link, buttfumblesports.com. Again, sign up for the free newsletter. And while you're there, check out our t-shirts, our merch. You'll love what you see. Boston Celtics fan, appreciate you signing up with the description. Appreciate that so much. Make sure you sign up. We'll give you every pick you need for the divisional round. That comes out on Friday. And again, whether you agree or disagree, it's not just picks. It's a lot of information to help you make your picks, whether you agree with me or not. Appreciate all you guys joining us. We are going to wrap up the show now as we get ready for kickoff of the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Should be an awesome game. Appreciate all of you guys joining us. You guys are an absolutely outstanding community. We are closing in on 37,000 followers on TikTok. Make sure you're one of them. Hit that follow button. Make sure you're a buddy. Make sure you're following Butt Fumble Sports. Of course, one more time, buttfumblesports.com. Sign up for the free newsletter, buttfumblesports.com, and check out our shirts with some great new designs. buttfumblesports.com. The link is in the bio. We will be back tomorrow night. Butt Fumble Sports will be broadcasting on TikTok Live and YouTube tomorrow night. We will do a preview show for the divisional round, so make sure you're following us at Butt Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Subscribe, sign up, follow. That way you know every time we go live. You can always ask me questions. You can hear my picks, my analysis, everything. So sign up. We will be doing our show Tuesday night. Make sure you sign up. That way you know when we go live. So appreciate you guys joining us. We just did a quick hour and 15 minutes. Amazing how fast this show goes. Thanks to the support you guys show us, how loyal you are, how much fun we have. Make sure you're following us. We will be back Tuesday night. And again, I'll be putting out rant videos later after this game. You won't want to miss those. So subscribe, follow. That way you can check out those rant videos later. Appreciate all of you guys joining us. We will be back Tuesday night. But until then, enjoy this game and good luck. I hope all your tickets cash.